Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be talking about Song of Solomon chapter 5. Well, more specifically, verse 16. Because so many Muslims saying, because in verse 16 it says Muhammadin, so it has to be Muhammad. Therefore, Song of Solomon chapter 5 is talking about Muhammad. They are so confused. You know, they just take one word, not even the whole word, because they just see the word Muhammad. They don't even know Muhammadim is plural. So it's like saying Muhammads, like more than one Muhammad. Let me take you to the chapter 5. I will start with verse 10 to 16. Let me read. The man I love is radiant and ruddy. He stands out among the 10,000. His head is like the finest gold. His locks are wavy and black as a raven. His eyes are like doves by running streams, bathed in milk and set just right. His cheeks are like beds of spices, like banks of fragrant herbs. His lips are like lilies, dripping with sweet myrrh. His arms are rods of gold with beryl. His body polished ivory adorned with sapphires. His legs are like pillars of marble, set on bases of pure gold. His appearance is like Lebanon, as imposing as cedars. His words are sweetness itself. This is all together desirable. This is my darling. This is my friend, daughters of Jerusalem. Let's start with verse 10. Now, warning for all Christians who are listening to this. Some Bible versions do not translate everything correctly. Some of them see the word radiant, they translate as white, which is actually wrong. First, I want to make sure you understand what is the real word. If you read white, it is wrong. It is not talking about color. When I take you to this, and I will take you to, uh, when I isolate the verse and take you to Hebrew, as you can see, the word is dazzling, right? Dazzling here, and this is the Hebrew word here, or Hebrew letters, and we can take it to Google Translate. It translates as fresh. So again, it's radiant, dazzling, fresh. So it is not talking about white. It is not white, not talking about color. Now, the next one is why this not talking about Muhammad? Because of this word, ruddy. Again, when I take you to the Hebrew, it says and ruddy. Ruddy, simple. Ruddy just means red, reddish. When you take when you see or when you check the dictionary, it will say healthy red color. That that is ruddy. Why this is not Muhammad? I will show you. First, I will show you who is ruddy according to Sahih Bukhari. Hadith number 3438, narrated Ibn Abbas. The Prophet said, as for Moses, Jesus, and Abraham, Jesus was of red complexion, curly hair, and broad chest. So see, red complexion. What is red complexion? Ruddy. So maybe this is talking about Jesus, right? Well, of course not. This is not talking about Jesus. This is just a poet about lovers. But anyway, so if anything This, so far, we know this is not talking about Muhammad. And then we can go to the next one, the next clue why this is not about Muhammad. You see this, myrrh? Yes, it is an incense. Muhammad, or Prophet Muhammad, he loved incense and perfumes. But from anything that he loved, any smell, he never liked myrrh, actually. Well, it's, at least it is not mentioned anywhere. If you go to Google, just for something quick, you can check here. His favorite scents is oud, musk, and ambergris. Look at this. Again, ambergris and musk. Oud. Oud is from India. Some incense from India. It is like aloe wood, something like that. So they call it oud or oud. And see, musk. You will never find anything but musk, oud, or look at this, another one, musk. So there's no myrrh. So this Song of Solomon so far is not talking about Muhammad. Look at this. Adorned with sapphires. Are Muslim men allowed to have sapphires on the body or anywhere? As a ring, anywhere? No. I'm pretty sure it is actually haram. Right? Now, let me take you to the last one. What a Muslim always get confused with. He is altogether lovely or desirable. Sometimes translates as lovely. It's okay. It's almost the same, right? Now, let me isolate the verse. And I will take you to the Hebrew version of it. All right, here it is. He is altogether lovely. As you can see, the Song of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 16, and the word is Muhammadim. Muhammadim, as you can see, masculine, plural. Muhammad, dim. Dim makes it plural. Muslims only saw Muhammad, so it sounds like Muhammad. So it has to be talking about Muhammad. But they don't know it is plural. So it is as if saying Muhammads or more than one Muhammad. They don't know this. Now, that's one. The second biggest problem is this. If you're using Bible Hub, this is the good thing about Bible Hub. You can see this Strong's 4261. Can you see? You should click it. It will show you where the same word being used, where like in other verses, So it will show you. So there's the word Muhammad, and then it is also used in 1 Kings, 1 King, chapter 20, verse 6. 2 Chronicles chapter 36, verse 19, Isaiah 64, verse 11, and so on. So now, if the word means Muhammad, let's go to those verses and check if the word means Muhammad. What happened if we translate the word as Muhammad? For example, 2 Chronicles chapter 36, verse 19. This is the verse, and you can see this, Hebrew. Click on it. Okay, let me read first. Let us read all together. They set fire to God's temple and broke down the wall of Jerusalem. They burned all the palaces and destroyed everything of value there. Let's take it to Hebrew. Translating to Hebrew. And you go to the bottom. It means of value. This is the word Muhammad. You can see it means destroyed everything Muhammad. Right? So if a value translates as Muhammad, then we can read, they set fire to God's temple and broke down the wall of Jerusalem. They burned all the palaces and destroyed everything Muhammad there. So that's what happens when we translate it as Muhammad, as the prophet Muhammad. What happened with other verses? I will show you. Here, Isaiah 16, verse 11. All right? Let's go. This is the verse. Let's read. Our holy and glorious temple, where our ancestors praised you, has been burned with fire, and all that we treasured lies in ruins. Where's the word Muhammad? Let us check the Hebrew. All right. There you go. This is the word. Muhammadanu was dear to us, lies in ruin. So now, that was dear to us. If you translate this as Prophet Muhammad, then let's go to the full verse and let's read as Prophet Muhammad. Our holy and glorious temple, where our ancestors praise you, has been burned with fire, and all that Prophet Muhammad lies in ruins. Prophet Muhammad lies in ruins. So this is not good, right? Or is it? I have prepared one more example actually. Lamentation 2, verse 4. Let us read the full verse. Like an enemy, he has strung his bow. His right hand is ready. His right hand is ready, Like a foe, he has slain all who were pleasing to the eye. He has poured out his wrath like fire on the tent of daughter of Zion, or Zion. Now, the word Muhammad is actually pleasing to the eye, or pleasing. There you go. Who were pleasing is Muhammad. So, if we translate this as Muhammad, let's go back to the full verse and read it again. Like an enemy, he has strung his bow. His right hand is ready. Like a foe, he has slain all Muhammad to the eye. He has poured out his wrath like fire on the tent of daughter of Zion. See what happens when you translate Muhammadim as Muhammad. Okay, again, I have to remind you, Muhammadim alone is plural, right? And when you translate this as Muhammad, it, it doesn't go. So Muslims do not understand this. They're, they're very simple-minded. Even Dr. Zakir Naik, can you imagine a Muslim preacher that big? He owns his own Islamic TV, and he has doctor in the front. You know, I don't know. Should I put doctor in front of my name, like Dr. Daniel? It sounds like, I don't know. Even Zakir Naik cannot understand this, and I don't expect a regular Muslim to understand. But if you are Christians, I hope you can understand this, so you can explain it to any Muslims who bring this up. All right. Now, the problem does not stop there, right? Of course, because I only started from this. Okay. Remember, the word radi means reddish or red complexion. And let's see what Muhammad looked like. According to hadith, I have prepared so many hadith here. So bear it with me. Let us read quickly. This Al-Bukhari 3566 narrated Abu Juhaifa. By chance, I went to the Prophet at noon while he was at Al-Abtah in a tent. Bilal came out and pronounced the adhan for the prayer, and entering again, he brought out the water which was left after Allah's messenger had performed the ablution. The people rushed to take some of the water. Bilal again went in and brought out a spear-headed stick. And then Allah's messenger came out, as if I were now looking at the whiteness of his leg. The whiteness of his leg. All right, not reddish. Next, this one is Al-Bukhari, hadith number 371, narrated Abdul Aziz. Anas said, when Allah's messenger invaded Khaybar, we offered the Fajr prayer there. When it was still dark, the Prophet rode and Abu Talha rode too, and I was riding behind Abu Talha. And the Prophet passed through the lane of Khaybar quickly, and my knee was touching the thigh of the Prophet. He uncovered his thigh, and I saw the whiteness of the thigh of the Prophet. Can you believe this? The whiteness of the thigh of the Prophet. Muhammad was so white, and it was so dark, and his thigh maybe was being used as a lamp. And this guy, Anas, Anas, he was like a giddy girl, little girl, when they're watching K-pop. When the K-pop singers out, they're so giddy. And this guy too, look, he was so happy because his knee was touching the thigh of the Prophet. and the tie was so white too. You know, this Prophet Muhammad should join like a K-pop. It's gonna be huge, man. Especially the K-pop is big in Middle East. Let's continue. This one is Sahih Muslim, Hadith number 503a. Abu Juhayfa reported it on the authority of his father. I came to the Messenger of Allah in Mecca, and he was at Abtah in a red leather tent. And Bilal stepped out with ablution water to him. Some of them got it. I will continue quickly. This similar to Bukhari earlier we read. So you can see the whiteness of his shank. And now look at this. Sunan Abu Dawud, hadith number 3206, narrated Al-Muttalib. When Uthman ibn Mazun died, he was brought out on his bier and buried. The Prophet ordered a man to bring him a stone, but he was unable to carry it. The Messenger of Allah got up and going over to it, rolled up his sleeves. The narrator Kathir told that Al-Muttalib remarked, "The one who told me about the messengers of Allah said, I still seem to see the whiteness of the forearms of the messenger of Allah." Look at this. The whiteness, not the reddish color, not ruddy, the whiteness. Next one, let's check next one. This one is Al-Bukhari, hadith number 7236, narrated Al-Bara bin Azib. The Prophet was carrying earth with us on the day of the battle of Al-Azab, and I saw that the dust was covering the whiteness of his abdomen. The whiteness. Now, next one. Sahih Muslim, hadith number 582. Amir ibn Sa'd reported, I saw the Messenger of Allah pronouncing Taslim on his right and on his left, till I saw the whiteness of his cheek. The whiteness of his cheek. Next, Sunan Abu Dawud, hadith number 996, narrated Abdullah ibn Masud. The Prophet used to give the salutation to his left and right sides until the whiteness of his cheek was seen. Okay, this is similar to, but it's narrated by a different person, Abu ibn Masud. And of course, you who know about Islam, of course, you know who Abdullah ibn Masud is. He's one of the best or the closest Sahaba. Next one. This Sahih Muslim, hadith number 2340a. Jurairi reported, I said to Abu Tufail, did you see Allah's messenger? He said, yes. He had a white, handsome face. All right. I don't know. Are these Sahaba women or what? Yeah, okay. White, handsome face. There you go. Next. Al-Bukhari, hadith number 63, narrated Anas ibn Malik. While we were sitting with the Prophet in the mosque, a man came riding on a camel. He made his camel kneel down in the mosque, tied its foreleg, and then said, who amongst you is Muhammad? At the time the Prophet was sitting amongst us, leaning on his arm. We replied, the white man reclining on his arm. The white man, this white man. You see, white cheek, white thighs, white neck. He's a white guy. So he's not reddish, he's not ruddy. Nowhere that says he's ruddy man. This one too. Look at this. This Al-Bukhari hadith number 3544 narrates Ismail bin Abi Khalid. I heard Abi Juhayfa said, I saw the Prophet, and Al-Hasan bin Ali resembled him. I said to Abu Juhayfa, describe him for me. He said, he was white. There you go. He was white, not reddish. Not reddish. Now, we go back to Song of Solomon, but this time is not from verse 10 to 16, but we go to the top. Go to the top. Let's read from verse 1. My sister, my bride, I have entered my garden. I am gathering my myrrh and spices. I'm eating my honeycomb along with my honey. I'm drinking my wine as well as my milk. And the guy is talking, supposedly Muhammad, drinking wine. Muhammad drinking wine? Let's go to Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 219. They ask thee concerning wine and gambling. Say, in them is great sin, and some profit. Of course, they're so funny. And some profit for man. But the sin is greater than the profit. They ask, anyway, I'm not going to continue. So, Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 219 says, wine is a sin. Drinking wine is a sin. And here in Song of Solomon, Muhammad is drinking wine and milk. Wow. What a sinner. What a sinner. Never follow Quran, the guy. More than 4 wives. He doesn't follow Quran. I don't know if Muhammad is Muslim. Now he's drinking wine, according to Muslims. Right? According to Muslims who believe Song of Solomon chapter 5 is talking about Muhammad. Muhammad is not a Muslim because he's drinking wine. Obviously, he's not a Muslim. Now, wow, I think I've been talking for almost 28 minutes. Anyway, that's how you refute Muslims. And for Muslims who are listening to this, I hope you understand my explanation and never think Song of Solomon chapter 5 is talking about Muhammad. Because otherwise, you're shooting yourself in the foot. Anyway, whether you believe Song of Solomon chapter 5 is talking about Muhammad or not, God bless you all. Have a nice life.